This week on Ebert and Roeper, it's the Man of Steel, Superman Returns.
All right, everyone, gird your loins.
Meryl Streep and Anne Hathaway in The Devil Wears Prada.
And Steven Spielberg and Robert Zemeckis present Monster House.
My son, remember, you have great power.
Faster than a speeding bullet, able to leap tall buildings at a single bound. It's a bird, it's a plane, it's Superman Returns. I'm Roger Ebert.
Thank you, sir. I am Richard Roeper. First up is the most anticipated movie of the summer. It's Superman Returns, and while I can't call it a home run, I'll say it's a solid base hit. I guess that's kind of faint praise for a mega-budget blockbuster about the most revered comic book hero of them all. But that's really one of the problems with any Superman movie. The Man of Steel and his alter ego, they're just not as complex, as dark, and interesting as Batman or Spider-Man or even Wolverine. He's just so darn wholesome.
You know Richard. He's a pilot. He takes me up all the time.
Not like this.
Now, that's a nice little homage to the Christopher Reeve, Margot Kidder flight in the 1978 classic. Now, Roger, there's been a lot of talk about Brandon Routh's resemblance to Christopher Reeve, but I think he's a ringer for a young Ken Wall. Director Brian Singer and the special effects crew deliver some first-rate showcase action sequences as when Superman rescues an airplane that's plunging and plummeting toward the Earth. Kevin Spacey has a couple of juicy scenes as Lex Luthor, but he's camping it up so much there's not a real sense of menace.
I just want what Prometheus wanted.
Sounds great, Lex. But you're not a god.
Gods are selfish beings who fly around in little red capes and don't share their power with mankind.
No, I don't want to be a god. I just want to bring fire to the people.
And I want my cut.
With a running time of 2 hours and 37 minutes, Superman Returns does drag in some spots. But even with all that room for exposition, there were still times when things seemed a little jumbled, and Luthor's plot to take over the world by creating a new continent seemed convoluted beyond my caring. With an iconic hero who leads the masses, is tortured by his enemies, has his arms flung out at one point as if he's on a crucifix, and even has a resurrection of sorts, Superman Returns could have been called The Passion of the Clark. Still, thanks to some rousing action sequences, a lively supporting cast, some beautiful cinematography, I'm going to give this a mild thumbs up.
Well, thumbs down for me, and I think that both as Superman and as Clark Kent, Brandon Routh is a man of very few words. I mean, this movie gives him so little dialogue. I wonder if they just didn't think he could act. I don't know. There's no chemistry at all between Clark Kent and Lois Lane, who apparently does know who he really is. There's no chemistry at all between Lois Lane and her current boyfriend. The editor, Perry White, is just a bureaucrat now. Jimmy Olsen, the copy boy, isn't that perky kid any longer. And as for the young son of Lois Lane, I mean, think of the opportunities they would have had to make that kid into somebody who was bright and sassy and cocky and always getting into trouble and always doing things, and instead he spends most of his time just kind of staring at the camera.
Like the son of Zorro was that kid.
Yeah,
well, you know, Roger, I have to say I agree with a lot of what you're saying. I gave it a very mild recommendation because I really did like the action sequences. I thought Kate Bosworth really misfired as Lois Lane.
Yeah,
really,
she doesn't have the Lois Lane.
She's kind of shrill and disagreeable and not much help. You know, you want Lois Lane to have a little bit more pluck to her, if you will. And I will agree, too, about Brandon Routh. I mean, he looks like Superman. I guess what, you'd expect Superman to look like. But Christopher Reeve had a real gift for that kind of screwball comedy where Clark Kent was this real likable but just kind of a disaster. Here he's just more of a lunk. But I did like the action. I did think there were some scenes that were just absolutely gorgeous. So a mild thumbs up, but I see what you're saying. I think a lot of Superman fans are going to be disappointed.
Another thing, Kevin Spacey is not your Lex Luthor to go up against Gene Hackman, that's for sure. And his plan for this new continent.
Well, the plan never makes sense.
When you see this continent, not even a billy goat could live on it, you know, let alone
I don't know
people.
if Doc Ock or Magneto had better plans. You know, most of the villains, the plans are pretty crazy.
No, yeah, but in this case, it's, and then all of New York floods, and then apparently later the floodwaters recede and are never mentioned again.
Well, okay, those are the things.
So
that,
I really felt
problems,
it was a
but
disappointment.
All
Okay.
right. All right.
Our next movie.
Yes, sir.
Our next movie is the strangest and most surprising animated film I've seen since Tim Burton's Corpse Bride. It's called Monster House, and it's inventive and exciting and visually effective and with a pretty dark and scary vision for a PG-rated film. The first-time director, Gil Kenan, is only 29. His hero, DJ, lives across the street from a haunted house owned by the crusty Mr. Nevercracker, voiced by Steve Buscemi. He and his friends Chowder and Jenny decide to explore it.
Dummy. Hey, I was just doodling. No, Chowder, this is it. First, we built the dummy. We filled the dummy with a few gallons of cold medicine. You can borrow from your dad's pharmacy. Say what? We feed the dummy to the house. House eats the medicine. House goes to sleep. We get in there, douse the fire, and get out.
The house has a mind of its own and a way of gobbling up anything left on the front lawn. That includes toys, pets, and small children.
What do we do? Come on. Let's go! Run, Chowder, run!
When the kids try to reach its furnace room, the house unleashes an astonishing array of horrifying experiences. The movie has been shot in the same process as another of my most admired animated films, Polar Express, and it will be shown in 3D in some IMAX situations. 3D or not, it's a superior movie, and it has more life and energy than even such good animated films this year as Cars and Over the Hedge. Mitchell Musso voices the hero DJ, Sam Lerner and Spencer Locke are his friends, and Maggie Gyllenhaal is their irresponsible babysitter. I actually think this movie might be too intense for really young kids. It's a horror house that really is scary. Thumbs way up.
Thumbs way up for me as well, Roger. I don't think there's any debate about it that if you're 6 or 7 years old, you're too young to see this movie. Parents, I'm talking maybe about 10 or 11 as a cutoff, because it's very weird and twisted in some of the areas it goes. But it's also just a ton of fun.
Yeah.
The kid actors voicing the kids are terrific. Maggie Gyllenhaal, John Heder has a nice role. And, you know, we're at the summer point right now, and when you mentioned a couple other very good animated films, but I'd say this right now is the front runner for Academy Award for Best Animated Feature.
Oh, I think for sure. And this 29-year-old director, it's his first film. He's straight out of film school.
You know, just a wonderful story.
He's brilliant. And, you know, this film, I can't wait to see it in that IMAX 3D process. I don't like 3D in general, but IMAX does it right. And this movie, just like Polar Express, it's just so visually alive and exciting.
It really is. I mean, in this case, the animation is perfectly tailored to the tone of the story. I love this movie. Okay, later in the show, Anne Hathaway realizes that the devil wears Prada. And next, Pierce Brosnan's best performance is now on DVD in the Thumbs Up video segment.
So Danny told you what I did? Professionally?
Ebert and Roeper's Thumbs Up video is brought to you by Nestle Raisinets. At the movies or at home, Raisinets.
I am up for it. All the time.
Looking at movies new on DVD, Johnny Depp and John Malkovich in The Libertine got a thumbs down from me, a thumbs up from Roger. Coming out on Tuesday, Tristram Shandy, a cock and bull story, one of the funniest movies of the year. 2 big thumbs up for that one. And, you've been waiting for this one. Sharon Stone and Basic Instinct 2. That did get 2 thumbs down.
It got 2 thumbs down for me, but I'm not saying don't rent it.
Okay.
I'm telling you,
I know what you're saying.
You will not be bored by Basic Instinct 2, no matter what you think about it.
Okay.
When I saw Michael Haneke's Cash, or Cachet, depending on how you want to say it, at Cannes last year, I thought it was a really good film, but I doubted it would get very much of a release. It's a story about a family that receives mysterious videos showing someone is watching them. It seemed too direct and obscure, I thought, for large audiences, but I was completely wrong.
Moi, je croyais que ça me concernait d'être terrorisé par ces coups de fil, anonymes. Ces putains de vidéos. De presque plus oser sortir dans la rue. Moi, je crois que ça me concernait de plus pouvoir fermer l'œil quand je pense à Pierrot et à toi et à toute cette merde. Mais si ça ne me concerne pas, alors tout va bien. Alors on en revient aux affaires courantes.
Cachet has caught on in a big way and done surprising business and inspired countless discussions about who is making these videos and why, and what we're supposed to think about the movie's last shot. The director is interviewed on the DVD, but he doesn't exactly solve all of the film's mysteries, but that's okay with me because the movie weaves a spell I didn't really want to be explained.
And Roger, my video pick is The Matador with Pierce Brosnan. I think giving his most complete performance as this hitman who's kind of going through a midlife crisis, and Greg Kinnear as the everyman, you know, kind of businessman on the road who runs into this guy who tells him he's a hitman. He can't quite believe it. It's very funny, and it has a couple of really neat twists and turns.
Look at me, Danny. Look at me. I'm a wreck. I'm a parody.
Julian, you got to go up there.
Oh, no. Just leave me alone, Danny. Please, just forget everything.
I can't believe I'm in a stairwell trying to convince you to assassinate somebody.
This is really a film that needs to be discovered on DVD.
It is an overlooked gem.
There you go.
It really is, The Matador. So The Matador and Cachet are both available right now.
Later in the show, it's Strangers with Candy, and next, Meryl Streep in The Devil Wears Prada.
My hand yesterday morning. Tell Richard I saw all the pictures that he sent for that feature on the female paratroopers, and they're all so deeply unattractive. Is it impossible to find a lovely, slender female paratrooper?
No.
Am I reaching for the stars here? No. Not really. Also, I need to see all the things that Nigel has pulled for Gwyneth's second cover. Who's that?
Our next movie, The Devil Wears Prada, plays like an after-school TV special for teenagers. Amazing that a career girl movie this simple-minded could attract serious actors like Meryl Streep, Anne Hathaway, and Stanley Tucci. Hathaway stars as a former Daily Northwestern editor, fresh out of school, who wears her canvas skirt and sweater to an interview with a scary fashion magazine editor played by Meryl Streep.
And before today, you had never heard of me?
No.
And you have no style or sense of fashion?
Well, I think that depends on what you're...
No. That wasn't a question.
Will this little Midwestern girl survive the Wicked Witch of Manhattan?
Get me that little table that I like at that store on Madison. Get us a reservation for dinner tonight at that place that got the good review last week. Thank you, notes delivered today. Both of them.
Will Andy fit into the high-powered world of the fashion industry?
Shoot.
Oh, never mind. I'm sure you had plenty more polyblend where that came from.
Will she learn how to wear free designer samples as if they were her own?
Are you wearing the Chanel boots? Yeah, I am.
You look good.
Will her boyfriend, played by Adrian Grenier, wonder what happened to the old Andy that he fell in love with?
You hate Runway and Miranda, and you think fashion is stupid. You've made that clear.
Andy, I make port wine reductions all day. I'm not exactly in the Peace Corps. You know, I wouldn't care if you were out there pole dancing all night, as long as you did it with a little integrity.
Will she get to go to Paris with her boss? The movie is based on a novel by Lauren Weisberger, which amazingly was a New York Times bestseller, which apparently means it was read by adults. I think I know more about high fashion than The Devil Wears Prada does, and I certainly know more about journalism.
I don't know. Sending you to a movie about fashion is like sending Nicole Richie to a movie about hamburgers. I don't know if it's really something you're interested in. I read the book. It was kind of simple-minded.
Really
but
simple-minded. I mean, that book read like...
Oh, so you read the book. So
I went on Amazon and I sampled about 2 pages. And it was like one of these little books that they, the Scholastic Press puts out for the 11-year-olds.
Well, let me tell you, I'm giving this movie thumbs up.
Oh,
I think
God.
it plays not like an after-school special so much, like a good, fun 50s screwball comedy. It's light, it's breezy. Meryl Streep is great in this movie, Roger. Come on, she's great. She elevates this movie. It's better than the book because of Meryl Streep.
Well, but something could have been done with it.
There was something done with it. A fun, entertaining date movie.
Don't you agree that it's one of those Andy goes to New York and gets a job?
And everybody has a lot of fun doing it, and I had a lot of fun watching it.
Okay, good for you.
All right, enjoy that sweater. Thank you very much. Okay, next, I have something a little different for you, my friend. It's the dark, weird, goofy, and really, really funny Strangers with Candy. When this movie made me laugh, it made me laugh hard. It's just so bizarre, so cheerfully warped, I couldn't resist it. In a prequel to the popular series on Comedy Central, Amy Sedaris stars as Jerry Blank, the 47-year-old, scrunchy-faced, ex-con junkie whore whose entire life has been an ugly disaster. Fresh, or not so fresh, out of prison, she returns home and she decides she'll enroll in high school, and this time she's going to get it right.
Hello. Well, I'm Jerry Blank, and I'm an alcoholic.
I'm also addicted to amphetamines as well as mainline narcotics. Some people say I have a sex addiction, but I think all those years of prostitution was just a means to feed my ravenous hunger for heroin. It's kind of like the chicken or the nugget. The point is, I'm addicted to gambling. Thank you.
Sedaris wrote the brilliantly twisted screenplay along with director Paul Dinello and co-star Stephen Colbert, who gives maybe the year's funniest supporting performance as an insanely self-absorbed teacher.
Hey, I know this is hard on you. It would be hard for me, too, if I broke up with me. I know what you're losing. The important thing is...
Sedaris, Dinello, and Colbert first worked together at Chicago's Second City, and they belong in the same league with that improv theater's long, long line of comedic giants.
Let me tell you something. I run a pretty tight posse, all right? Now, if you want to be part of the crew, you're going to have to follow a few simple rules, right? It's about getting caught and not telling, killing not caring, and dying without fear. You down for being up for that? I guess. Team!
Strangers with Candy has a bare bones plot about the students trying to win some science fair, but that's really just window dressing for a series of hilarious skits that play like an after-school special as produced by a prison theater group. The teachers and administrators are insanely inept and corrupt, while the students are parodies from the John Hughes High School yearbook. That all works because of the whip-smart dialogue and the great performances, so big thumbs up.
Thumbs up for me, too. You know, when you get right down to it, over the last 40 years, Second City has produced hundreds of famous comedians for this country. Here are three more.
Yeah.
And Amy Sedaris creates this character with such urgency and such passion, and she's so into it at all times, and so completely, like, you know, don't get me anywhere near this person, that I just look at her with a kind of fascination.
I mean, she sells the heck out of this performance, and everybody plays it in their own weird way. They play it realistically, which just makes it that much funnier.
Okay, next movie. Who Killed the Electric Car? Asked a very good question. You might remember how several years ago Tom Hanks was always on the Letterman show bragging about his beloved General Motors electric car and how much he liked to drive it. Californians loved them, even though the ads, we see one in the movie, seem designed to discourage you from buying one. They were produced by the industry in response to laws that limited pollution. But when the laws were weakened, GM withdrew its cars from the road, wouldn't let anybody buy them, and crushed them.
These look like perfectly good cars. Why are you shredding them up?
A little bit of a mystery, really, since I've been here the last 8 years. They bring us these cars from the dealerships, and they say that they're test cars, and they've been brought over to test various emissions, and the insurance companies won't reinsure them, so they have to watch them destroyed here.
Electric cars have disappeared, and now the big push is toward hydrogen cars. The strange thing is, hydrogen cars use 3 to 4 times more energy than electric, and there is no network of stations to fuel them. It's almost like a conspiracy against the electric cars that really did work.
If hydrogen can do a better job as an energy carrier than electricity, then by gosh, it should be the carrier of choice. The problem is, it's not even close.
In the movie, we see California Governor Arnold Schwarzenegger tooling around in his hydrogen-powered Hummer. The movie says it's a custom vehicle that costs $1 million and that no hydrogen car so far is anywhere near cheap enough to put into production. Meanwhile, Japanese companies are selling lots and lots of hybrid vehicles that they designed in the first place to compete with the GM electric car, and so Detroit is racing to catch up in a race that it once led. The inventor of the battery used in the original GM electric says he has one that will go 200 miles. The average person drives around 36 miles a day. With electric cars, we could become independent of oil from the Middle East, and really that does kind of make you wonder, who killed the electric car and why?
Yes, well, that is the question. Thumbs up for me. I think really, though, who killed the electric car? It really is the average driver. We just can't wrap our minds around the concept of the electric car.
But the people who got the electric cars in California loved them.
Yes.
Loved them. And I love my hybrid car.
And we see all 6 of those people.
I love my hybrid car. I mean, every time I go past those $3 gas pumps, and I go past them over and over and over again, I laugh.
I hope you and your car will be very happy together.
Okay.
We'll be back to recap this week's show, and next week we'll have our picks for the best movies of the year so far.
Now fry. Okay, recapping the movies on this week's show, we split on Superman Returns, but 2 very big thumbs up for Monster House that opens July 21st. It's not for smaller kids. We split on The Devil Wears Prada, 2 thumbs up for Strangers with Candy, and 2 thumbs up for Who Killed the Electric Car.
And when we come back, we'll look at other movies now in theaters.
There's a funnel cake carnival going on at IHOP. Crispy funnel cakes smothered in fruit and whipped topping and served with all your favorites.
You don't have to hunt for the best deals on the internet. Just follow that little arrow to motel6.com. Bullseye.
For people with diabetes, testing with Freestyle is virtually pain-free. Virtually pain-free testing means happy fingers.
The Fairly Odd Parents limited edition $50 Best Western travel card is yours free when you stay any 6 nights before August 25th. Visit bestwestern.com/TV for details.
Closed captioning for Ebert and Roeper is brought to you by...
I want to take you on the best vacation. You can sleep all you want, eat all you want, play all you want.
Kissimmee, make more dreams come true.
Do anything you want.
And you better get started.
Looking at movies now in theaters, Adam Sandler in Click, which got 2 thumbs down, and the documentary The Heart of the Game, which got 2 thumbs way up.
And that's it for this week's show. Until next week, the balcony is closed.